McLaren School, and we're going to do our introductions. First, I'm Ms. Scott, the principal, Nicole Scott, the principal.
Dana McIntyre, TK teacher.
Maria Maurice, preschool teacher.
Crystal Anderson, special education English teacher.
And together we represent special education department. So we are student focused. In order to focus on our students, though, we understand that we as a staff must be well. So we have to be fully on, fully present. And in order to do that, how do we do that? It is by putting the mask on ourselves, and then we can put the mask on someone else. So we have to get what you need, right? But we have to get what you need to be able to give what you have. So therefore, our data does show that we have 100% of our staff that does suffer or has suffered from direct or secondary trauma. So as a result, we really need a McLaren wellness program. So our design challenge is, how might we further understand and reduce the effects of trauma and secondary traumatic stress in our school community? Because our school is located in Sunnydale. We serve a population that has highly reported impacts of trauma and of the effects of stress. Our teaching staff undergoes long and extended experiences of behavioral emotional episodes. Some of you guys can relate to that. Yes. Long behaviors of emotional episodes, and it's often on a daily basis. So this is our design process.
So for our discovery work, we did 4 activities. The first one was a learning journey where we went to visit different programs that work with students who experience trauma. We went to Shoestrings, we went to Compass, and we went to the children's playroom. Activity 2 is background research. We really looked at what trauma is and how it is affecting teachers. Activity 3 is empathy interviews with teachers and students. That's where we took time to do interviews of our teachers to really understand what trauma looks like to them, how are they experiencing it, and what are some self-care strategies and routines they're doing outside of the school. And activity 4 is user-generated research. So we did see a need for wellness, so we were kind of surveying the staff to see what they needed in our school site to really help support them in their mental health needs.
And through the empathy surveys that we took, as we were reading through them, one of them stood out, a quote, and it said, "I feel sad." This is a teacher speaking about how she feels knowing the trauma that her students or community in the classroom go through. That teacher said, "I feel sad. Sometimes it's challenging to provide enough support for our families, which in turn sometimes leads to feelings of hopelessness." This is actually secondary post-traumatic stress. Now, through the insights we found 5 insights. The first one was students need a more holistic approach to address trauma. This is something that we found out through our learning journeys, visiting all these different sites. Insight 2, teachers don't feel equipped to address the effects of trauma. Actually, tomorrow we have a trauma-informed PD. Insight 3, a variety of factors contribute to trauma in our community. Insight 4, the community needs time for self-care to prevent burnout. Insight 5, teachers are experiencing burnout and compassion fatigue from vicarious and secondary trauma at our site.
Okay, so when we look at the design process, developing a solution, we looked at support from outside resources. That would include bringing individuals in who are professionals in that field of study, MSW counselors, mindfulness facilitators, a specific space where teachers actually go and relax, as opposed to in the classroom where you may have to go into, open a closet and stick your head in. Being able to provide mental health days and mental health check-ins with accountability.
So our design feature number 1 was outside resource support. So what that means for us is mindfulness for staff, a wellness facilitator, and help with sensory motor modifications for our children who need to go to those rooms, and when the teacher also needs a break. So our time period and iteration plan is throughout the academic school year. So we'll have 3 2-hour PDs, one in February, one in March, one in April. 2 full-day PDs, one in January to start everything off and one in May to end everything. And then the phase-in plan, we will collaborate with the wellness facilitator to finalize the dates and reserve spaces for professional development. And our community is really behind this idea. Our team has discussed collaboration with Miss Asara Sahai, who is going to be able to help us with the wellness facilitation. The teachers are super excited about getting these skills and resources to help themselves.
Okay, so our second design feature is the dedicated space. We all know we need a space when you think about relaxation, not once again inside that classroom. So when we think about the things that we actually need, that room that you actually need to have to go and sit down and relax. The time period and iteration timeline, submit the request in January of 2020, and hopefully have the completion of that actual room in March of 2020. The phase-in plan, converting existing office space, considering that we are a small school, it's kind of tight when you think about what room are we going to take, who's going to actually have to move. So we're going to have to actually move, relocate other people, and redesign the actual space that they're actually occupying. In addition to ordering new furniture and materials, because of course, how can you have a relaxation room without actually having relaxation furniture? Or creating that ambiance, oh, I'm here to actually relax and not think about that trauma that I actually just experienced. The community feedback, once again, the teachers in the community, because at first we started off thinking about, okay, we're focusing on students. Yes, we focus on it too, but there are so many other things out there that do focus on students. But when you think about those who are actually the caregivers, the teachers, what is actually out there for the teachers. So surveys were given to the staff to discuss what type of space do you want. Do you want an open space, closed space, and other type of input about, what do you want to see in this actual wellness center.
So design feature 3 is the mental health day. What we're trying to do is give each staff member on our site 1 day to take a day to themselves to do their mental health care routine. The time period for this is between January and May of 2020. The phase-in plan is teachers need to choose a mental health day. We need to request substitutes, and they need to complete accountability log. And we also need to have a staff meeting to talk about what that mental health day will look like and what are the expectations. Community feedback. So we really spoke to all of the staff, and they were very excited to have a day to themselves just to kind of do their own personal self-care routine so that they are well rested and rejuvenated for when they come back to work with the students.
I'm sorry, I just have to jump in here. One of the reasons that we're doing that also is because of the long sustained high level of love and work that we're doing with the students, and how it does deplete teachers to do that for a long sustained period of time. And we as principals ask teachers to come with 100%. Give us your full 100% of all you have. Well, if you don't have anything left, you have nothing left to give.
Design feature 4, mental health check-ins. And with this, what would be happening is that teachers would need to choose an accountability partner and pick dates for check-ins. This would be happening once a month during the academic school year, not including the summers. Community feedback. We discussed the mental health check-ins and modified our design based on the feedback of the staff members.
Okay. So, the why. John McLaren teachers have expressed that they don't feel equipped to address the effects of trauma, so we want to equip them. It is important that our teachers feel supported and equipped to address trauma, which will increase retention, decrease burnout, and alleviate fatigue. Supporting teachers will ensure that our students are being taught in a positive, caring, and nurturing environment to support the overall development of all students, as well as the teachers' mental health.
Theory of change. So if we provide our teachers with the opportunity to participate in wellness and self-care activities, both inside and outside of the school environment, then their overall health will improve, resulting in teachers having the ability to bring their full selves to the work, developing a strong sense of self and purpose in the students. So short-term objectives are just teachers will be able to practice new strategies to support mental health. Long-term, teachers will create and design self-care routines to adequately support their mental health and overall well-being, which in turn will support the students and families.
Okay, so when we think about the outcomes, basically looking at teacher retention, once again, positive behavior observation, performance of the students, pre and post surveys, both looking at quantitative and qualitative measures, teacher instruction, also in the classroom environment. What does that look like? How does that feel once the teachers actually being able to take that wellness, be able to use the wellness room?
So our budget. So for design feature 1, support for outside resources, the wellness facilitator is $9,300 for the whole school year. Design feature 2, dedicated space to relax, converting an existing space, that's $6,000. Design feature 3, provide mental health days, really like putting the mask on yourself before we're able to support our students, is $3,600. Design feature 4 is mental health check-ins and with an accountability partner. That is also $3,600, coming up to $22,500 is our request. Scenarios. So thinking of like scenarios, things to ponder. A teacher witnesses a child having a seizure with no seizure history in the classroom. Teacher then must communicate to child's parents, other teachers, and paramedics about the situation. The teacher must then return to her classroom to finish a day of special education instruction and then has to go to an IEP meeting.
What is needed?
What is needed?
A wellness room.
The wellness room. Yeah.